Hi everybody. This demonstration is going to go over the independent chalk and or oil pastel project. You get to choose if you're going to use chalk pastel or oil pastel or both. So we have chalk pastels that we used for a small project, and we have oil pastels we used for a very small project. There's this kind of oil pastel, and then these are the oily ones. And then we have the water-soluble oil pastels, which you can use brushes and smooth them around. Okay, so we have three choices of media that you could use for this. So I'm going to move this here. To think of an idea for your project, I want you to come up with something that has at least three themes that are all combined together for one final idea. So what I have is I have this wheel, and I showed one of my classes this already, but this wheel is called Syneptics. It's really hard to get on the camera here, but I'll just show you. Basically, there's a wheel that you can spin, and there's a list of things that go with the wheel. So if you don't have an idea and you need help, what you can do is bring a little piece of paper over to your wheel, this wheel, and then get a little pen or something, and this is hanging up on the whiteboard by the projector, and spin the wheel, and then look at the number 19, mutation, and then you write it down. Mutation. We're looking for 3. Number 15, identity. Identity. And the third one, number 34, violation. Okay, so you never know what you're going to get. So here I have 3 things together as one idea. And if you're like, whoa, those are tough, then spin the wheel again and do 3 more. And if you still don't have something, spin it again for 3 more. Do it a couple of times until you get a combination that really makes sense to you. Now, if you are struggling with this and you just don't get anything, then I have a solution for you. And that is you can do plant, animal, game. Okay? So this is your go-to. If you can't find one from the wheel or your own idea of 3 things that you can connect together in a composition in this project, you can do plant, animal, game. I've done plant, animal, game many times. It's a fantastic one. So what you do is you go do some research, look at some plants, maybe draw some in your sketchbook. Some animals, what kind of animals do you identify with or that you can use? And game, what kind of game? So here are some examples I can just tell you about. So there's one student that did one with a big spider playing Twister, and there were a bunch of plants in the background, and it was this big pastel project. Another one was a bear jumping rope as the game, with trees and plants in the background. So those are 2 ideas of plant, animal, game. For mutation, identity, and violation, that's a tough one. So you would think of some images that would be mutation, maybe cells mutating or something. Identity, maybe a mirror and a self-portrait. And violation, maybe like a ticket or a stop sign, or a car running through a stop sign, something like that. That's a lot of stuff to put together. That one seems a little too complicated. But if you had something like dream, portrait, and window, well, that would make more sense. So you can even just look at the list here and go, oh, umbrella, wheels, puzzle. Ooh. So this is just an idea generator, and it's called Syneptic. So it's basically the whole idea of holding things together, bringing different things into a real connection. So this project is about personal ideas, meaning, and connection. Okay, so that's really what we're looking at here. So I'm going to set that aside, put away my pen. So the next step is thinking about what surface you're going to use. So for this project, you need to think about your materials. If you're going to use chalks, then you could choose one of the multimedia papers, and they're over on the table under the clock. This has a rough side and a smooth side. So usually the rough side holds the chalk pastel better. You could also use the oil pastels or the water-soluble oil pastels on this paper. So what I've done, if I'm going to choose this paper, is I've gotten a board and I have taped off the corners. If you want to tape the whole thing, you can, but you don't really need to do that. It looks like I scuffed that up a little bit. Eraser will clean that up. So now I've got my taped off board and I'm ready let's say I'm going to start drawing, but I'm going to put my name on this, period 3, okay? Please put your name on the blue tape. You do need to tape your paper down to some kind of a board. That's important. So that's one option for preparing your paper. Another option is you can use canvas. And so I have that roll of canvas. It's unprimed, which means it does not have gesso sealant on it. You're not going to seal it. You're going to leave it unprimed. I just used masking tape, and I taped the whole fabric down. You do need to tape down the whole thing around the edges, okay? Because it needs to hold the fabric, or the fabric will shift around. So you may use this with chalks, oil pastels, or the water-soluble. Just a warning though, with water-soluble ones, it does kind of soak through, but it gives you nice effects. If you put too much water on the fabric, it really kind of gets gooey, so you may have to use the hair dryer often on it. But these all work on the canvas too. So as you notice, this is a large canvas. This is a large piece of paper. If you choose to do smaller ones on paper or smaller ones on canvas, that's fine too. But I do want you to try to use a large paper. If you really want to challenge yourself, I have another example. This one's huge. If you want to cut a really large one, I can't even get this under the camera. It's humongous. So if you're going to use something like this, and I can't even move my camera far enough to show you, you need to, look at that, it's all goofy. It's humongous. You need to tape it down still, okay? I'm going to do demonstrations on each one of these in class and put them up. I'm not going to spend a lot of time demonstrating. I'm going to set the large one aside. I'm going to show you a little bit about the fabric and show you a little bit, about the pastel, but I'll do that in the second video. So that's preparing your paper or canvas.